Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I haven't done one of these for about a month. I've been trying to think of what I want to talk about, and this is another Let's Talk video. You know, I really have enjoyed doing these, and I feel like the interaction from people from doing these videos has been incredible. It's been so nice to just sit here, chat, give an opinion, and I know it's my opinion and I value everybody's opinion. So you may disagree, but that's okay, because that's why we live in a society where we can disagree with each other, and I think that's important. Anyway, you'll know from the title that this particular one is about bisexuality. I've spoken about this on my channel before. I believe there may even be a video up. I did it a while ago, but I want to just revisit it because I feel that there is so much misconception when it comes to bisexuality. Even my wife still doesn't quite understand why I say I'm bisexual. So I just want to give you a bit of an overview of my journey. So I, at school, was very much boy crazy. You know, I was a 13-year-old and I was boy crazy. I actually lost my virginity quite young. I don't really want to talk about what age that is, just in case my mum watches this. She thinks I lost it at 18, so we'll just keep it there. That's terrible, isn't it? I mean, anyway, I lost my virginity quite young, and I was quite a sexually forward person. I always I find people attractive, and I've always felt that. Like, I used to find I was best friends with people quite intensely. Even though I was quite boy crazy, I had a lot of friends that were boys. I never had a boyfriend in school. But a lot of my girl friends who I had very intense relationships with, we used to have intense relationships for a good few months, and then we almost used to break up because it was just intense. But I didn't know anybody gay. It wasn't that I was completely blind to it. My mum was extremely bohemian growing up, grew up with, you know, 10 transsexual men. They lived in it was a very bohemian lifestyle. So it's not that I wasn't subjected to that at all. Like, I was very open. Mum was very open about everything, and she always said to me, love who you want to love. So it wasn't like I didn't know, but I didn't know any gay people where I grew up. It just wasn't something that people spoke about. And my first sort of, there were a couple of things. So there was one person I knew who I used to hang around with across in the park near my house. And he turned out to be gay, and we used to be really good friends. I mean, we were young. I mean, like 9, 10 years old, that young. And he was sort of the only gay in the village when he came out. However, I had met somebody. I was at what was I doing now? A youth music festival in Slovakia. Don't ask, I have no idea. I was 16 years old and I went on this youth music festival for a week or two, I think it was. I've got some excellent friends that I made from that, although I don't keep in touch with them. One or two I do, but I haven't really spoken to them. But there was one guy and his girlfriend was bisexual, and I was like, what is this? What does that mean? And it suddenly I was so intrigued by it. I was like, what do you mean by bisexual? And they said, it's somebody who fancies men and women. But I was like, I don't know if that means that's who I am, but I knew that I didn't just fancy men. I didn't fancy anybody. I mean, I find a lot of people attractive. The more I speak to them, the more attractive I can find them. And actually vice versa. I can find some people quite aesthetically pleasing and then talk to them and they are absolutely not attractive at all. There's a number of people that has happened to in my life. However, I enjoy being in the company of attractive people to me. I really enjoy that, and I always find that I'm attracted to people. Anyway, I worked out at that point that although I wasn't ready to label myself as bisexual, I felt that there was something there that really opened my eyes to a whole new way of feeling. I carried on regardless. I carried on being boy crazy and going out and meeting boys and having sort of boyfriends. I had quite a serious relationship with somebody, and I do want to talk about that because it was quite abusive, and I'll talk about that in another video, and I don't think I need to go into it during this time. At that time though, I'd met a couple of girls who I'd had quite a big sexual chemistry with, and we'd had a couple of snogs. And I knew that there was something different. I knew that I was excited by women as well as excited by men. And then eventually, when I was 21, I decided I was coming out as gay because I wanted to explore that more. And the reason I did that was because everybody was like, oh, you're bisexual, you're just transitioning. And I wondered if that was true. It's so hard to work out your feelings. It's so hard to work out what you actually feel. But I did end up sort of saying I was a lesbian for quite a long time. And then when I came out of my last relationship before Claire, I decided I was going to maybe explore my sexuality even more. I still found some men attractive. There would be times when I'd see somebody who I thought, oh, you're a nice looking man. And I can appreciate good looks, but there would be some certain people that would make me feel good about myself, and that would make me instantly attracted to them. So I thought I'd explore it, and I dated quite a few people. I dated men, women. I didn't really go much further with anybody. I was just dating. I just wanted to date. That was my big thing. And I was enjoying it. But ultimately, you know, when I met Claire, I knew that she was the one. However, I will always say I'm bisexual. So I may be in a same-sex relationship, but I will say I'm bisexual because to me, bisexual means that you just don't have a preference. A lot of people will say, oh, you're greedy. But that's not true. I think I'm further from that. I've got so much choice that I am too picky. That what I am looking for is the person and what they believe in and what they morally stand for and their thoughtfulness and, you know, all of those good things that go into the character of somebody. So people ask me, is the sex difference between a man and a woman? And actually, I would say if there's a connection there, of course it isn't, you know, and that is as good as it, that's where you go. I mean, to be brash about it, that is the true, honest thing. But I think for me, I really feel that my bisexuality is a gender blindness. So some people might prefer blondes and some people might prefer beards and some people might prefer, you know, painted toenails or fat women or thin men or whatever. But my preference was always, the preference I had was thoughtfulness and a nice face. Now that sounds really shallow, but I just find I love a face that is just open and warm. And that meant that when it came to gender, that could be anybody. I don't have a preference when it comes to somebody's gender. I just don't. So I think I would prefer to keep, you know, I keep the label bisexual only because it's easier. I don't like having a label, and I have spoken about that before, but I do believe that I want to be put in that area because I feel it's the most misunderstood. I feel people don't really are not open to the suggestion of being bi, and I think more people would be more open to how they feel with other people if they could just embrace that bisexual label a little bit more. And I guess sexuality is fluid. You know, there is a scale of 0 to gay or 0 to straight, and you can be 100% either way. But I bet you so many more people, if they were just open about how they feel about people, would find that they hover in and out of that scale of sexuality. So I guess for me, that's my story. I do still say that I'm bisexual. Claire does struggle with it. She does find that it's easier for her to say I'm gay because I'm in a same-sex relationship. I'm not saying that she's closed-minded. It's just easier. I can understand why. I think the other thing that she also gets quite worried about is, what if I did find a man attractive? Well, the thing is, I think that would be the same as what if I found another woman attractive. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And I don't have those tendencies. I know that Claire is absolutely 100% the woman for me. I am so happy with her. We have the best relationship and it just couldn't be any better. And I'm not saying that for the camera. I truly mean that. And I do feel sometimes that is it too good to be true because we just get on so well. But I do think that, you know, there should be more openness about it. I know that in Rose and Rosie, Rosie says that she's bisexual, and I really appreciate that somebody who is in that limelight, who is in the media as quite a big character in the bisexual world, I do really appreciate that. But again, in terms of how old she is and how old I am, I feel like maybe my age goes against the fact that I'm bisexual. Some people may not understand it who are similar ages to me. I know that when I used to go out on the gay scene as well, that used to be a struggle because people couldn't understand where I fit in. And I think people do need that. They sometimes feel very secure when they know where you fit. And I didn't fit, you know, and that was something I had to deal with. But I'm happy and I'm really pleased that I have finally settled down with the person that I love and the person that I will be with forever. So let me know your story. Do you find that your sexuality is something that you strongly believe in and you identify with, and you have a real presence around yourself that is all about your sexuality? It's almost all consuming. Or do you just sort of go, yeah, whatever, you know, I'm in a heterosexual relationship, but who knows, you know, one day if something were to happen, I can't be closed-minded to it. And that, I think, is a great way to be. But I also think that, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to say that you feel that way. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because otherwise it's going to get too long. Thank you so much for listening to my Let's Talk video. It's been a while. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Comment down below if you wish. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Half-size lipsticks. And you know me, I love a good mini. I love it. So to say I haven't enjoyed